Hey everyone. So, yeah, we got 7 inches of snow last night, and it's March 21st? Yeah, it's almost April, and we got all this fucking snow. It is very beautiful. It is definitely a winter wonderland out here. However, it definitely puts a damper on things because it's probably going to kill any buds or blossoms that have opened. The roads are slushy and disgusting, and I was really looking forward to like warm weather coming, so that's a no-go. But yeah, just look at all this. Like, there you go. The shrubs over there are like leaning over, and this tree, this maple tree, is covered in snow. The sidewalk, and there's the cherry tree. Yeah, this morning when I left, I had to go to the chiropractor this morning because I'm having a little problem, which I'll tell you about later. Damn, I'm gonna have to duck. But yeah, the cherry tree is all weighed down. Normally it's like way up, you know, but I'm gonna have to duck and walk underneath it to get to the driveway. Oh, there we go. You see this area over here where there's not any snow on it, really? It's because this morning I was backing my car out, and I came around the corner and looked was looking in my side view mirror and saw tree limbs like touching the driveway, and I couldn't go under them. I didn't want to, they were touching the driveway. I mean, I couldn't go under them, and I didn't want to go around them because then I would have been completely into the neighbor's yard, and I don't think they would have appreciated that very much. So I went and got my dad, and he and I took some lawn tools, a shovel and a hoe, and started banging on the branches to get all the snow off, and they eventually did go back up, and I was able to get out. So yeah, but yeah, the reason I had to go to the chiropractor this morning is because ever since Saturday, well, no, ever since actually my whole life, I've always had like neck problems. Like, it's always hurt me. I've always had clenched muscles. I've always had like cricks or kinks or whatever in my neck, clenched muscles in my back, pinched nerves, problems like that. And so I've been to the chiropractor before many years ago, and he was working on a treatment for me, and I had to stop going because I couldn't afford it anymore. Well, anyway, on Saturday, and I was partying on St. Patrick's Day with Brian, I don't know what the hell I did to myself, but I remember waking up on Sunday morning like really hungover and in a lot of pain. Like, my neck was so clenched and so sore I couldn't turn my head like all the way to the right. I couldn't raise my right arm up. I had a clenched rhomboid, like that's the muscle that's between your spine and your shoulder blades. And I just was in a great deal of pain. I had tingling and pins and needles all up and down my right arm. It was terrible. And then sitting in the car for 5.5 hours, not moving, certainly did not help it at all. Called in sick to work Monday, went to the chiropractor, and he took some x-rays, and he's like, yeah, you've got your neck is missing some bone. I'm like, what do you mean I'm missing some bone? He's like, well, you've got premature neck degeneration. And basically what that means is that the edges of my vertebra in my neck have kind of like worn away and chipped away, and basically I have the neck of a 70-year-old woman. So I've been in pain for the last several days. It's now Wednesday and I'm benched again. I didn't go to work yesterday either. So yeah, I can turn my head now and I can raise my arm up, but that clenched muscle in my back is still really hurting really fucking bad. So I have to go back tomorrow to get my head snapped back into place again, because you have to go, you know, be pretty aggressive when it comes to these kinds of things. The pinched nerve isn't going to go away on its own. So yeah. But I came out here to get the mail. I guess I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll finish this vlog a little bit later. Okay, I'm back inside. There was like hardly any mail, and none of it was for me. So I guess no news is good news, right? So yeah, St. Patrick's Day. You're probably wondering, well, why didn't she film anything that happened on St. Patrick's Day? Well, I did, but Okay, several things. Several reasons why you're not going to see any of St. Patrick's. What the fuck am I sitting on? Oh, my phone. Why you're not going to see any of St. Patrick's Day. One, the places we went early in the morning. We got started at 10 o'clock. We went down to downtown Willoughby, which is like a little downtown, like eclectic, small area on the offskirts of Cleveland. And we got started there. Every place we went into was already packed to the fucking hilt with drunkards. It was loud because there was loud music playing. It was loud because there were a lot of people talking. And, you know, I'm not a fan of whipping my camera out when there's like tons of people around who may not necessarily want to be filmed. And even if I did whip out my camera, you wouldn't have been able to hear me talking. I couldn't even hear myself talk. I had to lean over to Brian and yell to get to talk to him. And he'd lean over and go, "What?" So yeah, I did some filming. I went into the bathroom in a couple places to do some filming, but I just wasn't getting any footage of anything interesting. And I got drunk. Like later on in the day, I started getting tipsy, and I just thought it better if I just not get out my camera. So yeah, you're not going to be seeing any of St. Patrick's Day footage because it's not very interesting and it's just blah. And yeah, the next morning, I was scrolling through my pictures I had taken on my phone, and like I kept seeing these horrible blurry pictures that I couldn't even tell what the fuck they were. I couldn't even remember like taking half the pictures. Like, one was a picture of like these 3 chicks that I don't remember who they are, and they're like holding up their drinks and we're at the bar, and I took a picture of my shoes in the bathroom for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. So, it was an interesting night. I mean, I vaguely remember plugging in my phone to charge that night before going to bed. That's all I remember. So, yeah, it was a fun time, but yeah, Michelle got a little wasted, so yeah. The next morning when I got up, actually, like I said, I was hungover, and with my clenched and messed up neck and shoulder, like throwing up was just terrible. I mean, actually really wasn't throwing much of anything up, it was just like stomach acid, which I've never puked up stomach acid before. I had no idea my stomach had that much acid in it, but I had no idea that you could actually puke it up. So I was a little bit astonished, and I was a little bit worried. I asked Brian, like, do you think I should go see a doctor about this? He goes, "No, your stomach acid will replace itself." I'm like, okay. So, yeah. It's been an interesting few days. The chainsaw that I ordered arrived, and I got it put together. Like, I got the bar and the chain installed on it. And it's just a matter of mixing the oil and fuel mixture, and then giving the chainsaw its fluids and stuff. And I think my dad's going to go with me either this Saturday or next Saturday over to Carrie's house, so that the young men who live over there can get a lesson on how to use the chainsaw, and I can get a lesson on how to use the chainsaw, and we can experiment with it, and we can take turns using it and learning about using it. So yeah, the chainsaw is going to have to live over at Carrie's house because there's really no place here for it to live, and there's nothing around here to cut. There's no goddamn wood. There are no fucking trees. I mean, there are trees, but they're like growing. They're not on the ground dead. Like several trees on Carrie's property, because she lives on like, I think, 20 acres of woods. So yeah, she's got several felled trees that we want to cut up to make firewood. So yeah. That's what's happening. Oh yeah, I finally bought for myself something I have wanted since I was a child. I remember getting invited to a sleepover when I was really little, like maybe in the 1st or 2nd grade. This rich kid in our class, what was her name? I know her name. I can like see her face. Like skinny, cute, red, like girl with like really long red hair and freckles. But I can't remember her name. But anyway, her parents were filthy rich, and she had all this cool shit at the house. And a whole bunch of kids got invited to her house for a sleepover for her birthday. And they had a space telescope, like in this like bay window area, like off to the side of her bedroom. They had like this huge, gorgeous fucking house. I mean, these people were fucking loaded. I wondered why the heck they were sending their kids to public school, you know? I'm like, you obviously make over $300,000 a year, like why aren't you sending your kid to private school or something? you know, but she like did all this like gymnastics and soccer and, you know, any lessons or anything she wanted, she fucking got. And, I mean, whether or not she was actually like a spoiled brat, I really don't know. I really hardly knew her, but I knew of her, you know, but I got invited because I guess they wanted to do the polite thing and invite all the girls in the class. So anyway, they had a space telescope, and we were all taking turns like looking through it, and oh my god, from that moment, the moment I put my eye on that lens and like looked through that thing and saw fucking like stars, and actually you could actually see Saturn with this thing. You could see Saturn. It was amazing. And like, I have to have one of these. I need this in my life for like therapy, you know. So yeah, I've always had a fascination with like outer space. It's always been outer space and the deepest oceans. I think we know more about outer space than we know about our deepest oceans. So it's, you know, anything mysterious. But yeah, so I finally bought myself a space telescope. And I'm really excited because this summer I'm going to be using it probably every night to look at the stars and to look at whatever's going on in the sky. And we do get meteor showers around here. I think in early autumn, late summer we get them. And I think we get them in the spring too. I'm not sure. But yeah. It's going to be awesome. And I also ordered myself a deck of Cards Against Humanity because over at Carrie's house we've been playing Scrabble after dinner when I go over there to eat and hang out. And we've kind of gotten worn off on it. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of ready for something else. So I ordered Cards Against Humanity. And Carrie's like, well, what's that? I'm like, you're going to like it, I promise. But yeah, Carrie tried to teach me how to play Rummy the other night. It did not go well. I've always sucked at card games. I've always really sucked at card games. And so she's trying to show everyone how to play Rummy. And like the guys are getting it just fine. And it gets to be like my turn for like the third time and I'm just looking at my cards. Where we were playing open-handed so that she could show us what to do. And I was just looking down at my cards and she goes, it's your turn. I said, I know it's my turn. She goes, well, what's the matter? I said, this feels like I feel like I'm in a fucking Chinese spelling bee. That's how I felt. So I said, you know, let's get something else to do. You know, I'll order a game for us. So actually Nick suggested Cards Against Humanity, and I said, okay, well, I'll order it. You know, not a big deal. It's only like $25. So I think that's how much I spent on it. Yeah. So yeah, but I just realized I've been talking for a long time. So, I guess I'm going to, close. Oh, my camera's gonna die. Fuck. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've not already done so, give it a like and a share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll catch you kids later. Bye.